For your time.
Saw me coming out of my chair already. I was like, put me in, coach. Winners want the ball. Every eye open. I got to tell you, you can tell how much everyone has prepared, and I prepared too. But I got inspired while I was sitting here listening to everyone else. Okay? And I'm going to tell a story. I've told this story before, but you know it's different when you tell a story on a man and he's in the room. And the man is Judge Hosmer. When I was younger, I was a counselor. The judge did something different. I had to write reports on the kids that I interacted with. Judge Hosmer was a GAL then. And one day I get a call from him, and he was one of the GALs who showed up, and he had a relationship with a kid before he went into the courtroom to talk about their lives. And he's on the phone. He's not particularly irritated, but he says, "Can you please send me this grade report? And I emailed you about it yesterday." And I said, "Well, I responded. I sent you that report. I sent you a whole update 2 weeks ago." He said, "Yeah, that grade report's 2 weeks old." Because he cared about how this kid had been doing since he had seen him last. And I said, "I'll get you another update." That's about a relationship. And what we're talking about here today is the start of a conversation. Okay? A good conversation with your eyes open and focused on the things that are important will lead you in positive directions. And I was thinking about what Judge Hosmer was saying. I have a friend, Matt Moncato. He works at one of our agencies. He's not here today. He uses the term courageous conversations, talking about things that are hard to talk about. And Laura and I were joking beforehand about me singing, but I got inspired, I got to tell you. Before you abuse, criticize, or accuse, walk a mile in my shoes. You got to walk in these people's shoes. Now, some of us are fortunate, and we've been able to walk in those shoes. I know that relationships matter the most. There's literally a state representative now who you serve with. His mom was the caseworker when I went into foster care. Those relationships matter. Your relationships with us. This room is full of experts. Nobody here is afraid of work. You get up early, you work long days. There's no fear. It's excellence, exceeding expectations. Judge Hosmer exceeds expectations all the time. That's a good way for us to live as we interact with people. Okay? We want us, all these topics. There's more of us. We just want to start the conversation because you do have different roles and jobs. Okay? If you're working in the state capitol, you're a representative, you're a senator, you're a judge, you're a council person. You have an area of expertise, and there will be times, I assure you, I used to work for, actually one of my best friends back here. Relationships matter so much. My best friend put me to work doing something I loved when he was a state senator. That's how I got connected to CAN over 10 years ago. Was doing constituent services. These relationships matter. There will be times where you will be scared to death about a decision. There's red, green, and yellow if you're in the Capitol, right? You have to push a button. And people's lives are behind those buttons. We want you to be able to call us. We are open to you. Conversations. I have a good friend. He was a Army interrogator. He talked to real bad guys. And he's such a great conversationalist. He says he's not a conversation expert. He's a friend of conversation. Okay? Let us be friends and start a conversation. He says, what do I know? I see, what's he say? He says, what do you know that I wouldn't know if I didn't ask? And what do I know that you wouldn't know if you didn't ask? Let's do that together. If we don't, here's what will happen. We see things. We see things up close. You know they're there. A lot of times people don't want to see. They close their eyes because some things are really terrible. They're horrible. And when they open their eyes, they might get angry. And anger can motivate you. Or anger can be completely ineffective. And sometimes it may get so bad that you'll cry out and say, "Oh God, please show me how I can help this." Or you may ask the universe, and the universe may say, "Nothing." And because of that, you may start to get depressed. And you'll say, "This is too much. I can't do anything." And I won't tell the long story, but if you haven't, you know my fascination with saving starfish. It matters to that starfish. when you throw him back into the sea. You can't save them all, but it matters to that one. So let us be a part of this conversation with you, because if you can accept it, we are all trying to make this better. And yes, it is terrible. It is often terrible, and it is hard. And we don't have understanding. I mean, some of you haven't ridden the public bus in 20 years, right? You don't know how far it takes to get from here to there, right? You don't know. But we might know. One of the things I used to do when I worked over at a different place was to get on the bus with the kids. And I was so confused. I hadn't ridden the Springfield bus for a while. You know, we get lost, try to get to the mall. It was fun, but it's not fun when you have to get there. Somebody gets up 4 o'clock in the morning, get to work at 7, okay? So let us begin to know and to recognize we are all in this together. We are here for you. We appreciate your service, your leadership, okay? We can do it. We can do better. There are many questions, and when you ask questions and listen, then we can gain knowledge and understanding. Can't say that I understand everything about passing a law or setting in front and making these life-changing decisions, but I've been on the other side of them a couple of times, and I know that those things do matter. Always very fortunate. I had good foster parents. When those things didn't go the certain way and everything went to hell in a handbasket, I was always lucky. You know, I was always able, some other good person came around. And those relationships. I've been given the opportunity to go out and do public speaking. Nate Duncan is a good friend of mine over at Lakeland. Gives us opportunities. We have all of these connections, all these people in here, these faces and the ones you haven't met. At the end, Laura's going to say more about it. We've got some places as you come up. If you have a question about some particular piece, she'll say more about that. But before I go, I have to say, I want to thank Laura and all of the staff and everybody who's worked on this to make this a nice, neat, together place that we could talk about things. And Laura's done so much. We're talking about it. We've been doing this for a decade at least. Maybe we'll go back and do the math. So her leadership matters a great deal for all that we're able to accomplish. So thank you, Laura. Thank you for letting me be with you.